Hello, buddy, and welcome back to Red Devils TV. So, this is your Manchester United versus Bournemouth match preview, and I've got a very special guest on with me today, a good friend of mine, Thomas. So, Thomas, just to say hello.
All right, guys. Thanks for inviting me onto the show today, Dan.
Cheers, pal. I really appreciate you coming on because it's been quite lonely last few streams, me just talking just to a camera. So it's quite good to have a bit of interaction. Oh, shit, I just dropped my phone. Anyway, guys, thank you for everyone that's tuning in. Let me know in the comments down below who's here, and we'll put your messages up on screen as always. So anyway, Manchester United are facing Bournemouth as our next game on Saturday, and it's pretty much a must-win, Tom. That's exactly what it is. Obviously, Manchester United, we only need 6 points from our next possible 9, and United just need to secure top 4 at this point. But are you worried with Bournemouth as they are quite pressing side when they are at home, and Manchester United's poor away form? Do you think we can actually get a win? So just want to give me your opinion on that.
I mean, as a United fan, I'd love to say that we're going to win this game, but as you just said, our away form hasn't been the greatest this season. So can I say it's going to be an easy game for United? No, I honestly, I cannot say it's going to be an easy game. Given a lot of Bournemouth stats as well, I'm very concerned that we're just not going to be able to get the full 3 points. A draw possibly, but I don't think we could get a full 3 points from Saturday's game.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game, like you said, and especially with Manchester United's away form, it is going to be very tough. And Bournemouth have surprised a lot of teams this season. I mean, I'm pretty sure that every single Premier League fan who watches the actual league, that everyone put Bournemouth to go down, and they were probably going to be rock bottom 20th. And they were at one stage. It was only till about 6 weeks ago they actually started turning these results around and actually performing better. I remember they beat Spurs a few weeks ago. I think they gave Liverpool a good game. I think they ended up drawing that game. I'm not too sure. So it's going to be a tough game, that's for sure. And especially, like you said, with United's away form, anything is possible. United could actually win a game for once, because it would be quite embarrassing if Man United don't win an away game, because I'm pretty sure we haven't won an away game since Fulham before November, just before the World Cup started. That was the last time United actually won an away game, and it's criminal, to be honest. It's absolutely criminal. United need to be winning this. But the thing is as well is that I just want to ask you as well, Thomas, that the importance of this game is that I think that United have to win all 3 games, want to actually try and get 3rd place, because I had some fans who watched the channel message me on Twitter the other night asking me that, are you worried about Liverpool? And I turned around to them and said, no, not really, because it's in United's hands. Liverpool aren't on joint points with United. It's not down to goal difference. United currently have more points than them. So why should United fans or United players be looking down the table when we're literally tied points with Liverpool? Sorry, not Liverpool, Newcastle, and all they've got is goal difference. And they're currently playing Brighton tonight. So Brighton will give them a good game. I know that for sure. So hopefully Brighton can do something for United tonight, which I really hope they do. But like I said, I don't know why fans are panicking about Liverpool, because it's in United's hands. And I don't know why we're actually looking down the table when we're literally should be looking for that 3rd spot. And I think that is going to consist of City winning the league, because I think that's pretty much confirmed now they're champions. Arsenal 2nd, because they have had a good run. United end up coming 3rd, and Liverpool come 4th, because as we've learned with this Liverpool side over the last few years, especially under Jurgen Klopp, that this Liverpool side can go on an insane run and beat everyone in the league if they want to. And I think that's exactly what they're going for. But with obviously with this game, who would you say is the key player for Bournemouth, and who do you think will give United the biggest area of danger?
You see, that's a bit of a tough one, because Bournemouth. Personally, I think the goalkeeper, most of all, is going to give us the hardest run around, really. I mean, the defence as well. Anyone from the defence, goalkeeper or anyone on the Bournemouth defence, is going to give us a hard game, really. because their defence this season is first for clearances. They've had 922 clearances. So playing at home, personally for me, and I mean the 922 clearances, the first in that tally. I think the team below them was like 843.
Wow.
So they've had plenty more clearances. So the defense, any player from the defense for me is going to have a real easy time. I think. I'm just hoping that on Saturday we don't play Martial, because Martial will just get absolutely torn to shreds by the Bournemouth defence. Absolutely torn to shreds. I mean, I've been very vocal on Martial over the last couple of weeks. Personally, for me, I don't think he's a first-team starter. But we'll have to wait and see what happens on Saturday, whether Martial flourishes against Bournemouth. But for me, I don't think we're going to get past the defence.
So would you say that it's not going to be a high-scoring game? Do you think it's kind of going to be a smash and grab, or do you think that Bournemouth will actually give us a game and it might end up being a draw?
I think Bournemouth are going to give us a game. I really do think they're going to give us a game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Potentially 1-1. Maybe if we're lucky, and if Garnacho comes on in the second half like he has been doing in like the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe a 2-1 win to United. But that 2-1 is, I'm being optimistic on that 2-1. Personally, I'd say 1-1. 1-1 draw.
Right. Okay. Well, I like how at least we're going to generate a point from this game at least, and I'm kind of on the same page as you with that. Like you said, I mean, I didn't know that stat about Bournemouth, so I'm glad you actually brought that up. But with a team that is used to clearing, or obviously used to doing a lot of clearances throughout matches, that means that they know how to defend well, they know how to drop back, and they are a tight team, and they tight mark their opposition players. And I know that Billing, considering that he's only a midfielder, he's their top scorer. So I feel like that defensively, it's going to be hard to break down Bournemouth. But goal scoring wise, apart from Billing and their striker, I can't remember his name. Is it Sharkoff or something, whatever he's called? But their striker and him, I'd say they're only goal threats realistically. So goal scoring wise, they don't have many threats, but defensively, it's going to be a tough nut to actually crack. But Simon Davis in the chat, thank you for being here, pal. I agree, their keeper is on point majority of the times. He is, and let's say that he's actually. I mean, for me, it is a question, Thomas. Like, what are your thoughts on David De Gea? Do you think that he can help us in this game, or do you think that he needs to be with his distribution? Do you think that this could make it a lot harder of a game than it needs to be? Because as we know, David De Gea just gives balls away. I don't know what a comparison is like just giving 50p to an homeless person. You're just like, there you go. That's what David De Gea is like. He's very hit or miss. It's very hit or miss with David De Gea, and that's very unfortunate because for me, David De Gea is very much a club legend. But at the end of the day, his distribution, it causes chances for the opposition that don't need to happen. So I'm looking forward to the game. But at the end of the day as well, I'm also quite nervous because, like I said, goal scoring wise, I'm not worried about Bournemouth. But it's if United attack and chances can do enough, because I mean, I'm looking at our stats right now, and against Wolves, we had 27 attempts, but only 5 on target. So we're creating them chances, but we're just not being clinical with them. So who would you say for United is going to be our key player?
I mean, so far, every time he's come off the bench, even though that he's played 20, 30 minutes, he's always come out as the top player. And Garnacho, I don't know what Garnacho's eating for breakfast or dinner, but whatever he's eating at the moment, he just seems to come off the bench and just turn the game around. I mean, look at what happened when we played. Look at what happened when we played at the weekend. He came on, and the whole game got turned around. We were 1-0 down for a fair while, but then all of a sudden Garnacho comes on, and we're 2-0 up.
Yeah.
For me, Garnacho is just one of these players that, at the moment, I don't think he'd start against Bournemouth. Will he come on? Yes. I don't think he'll start though. But in saying that, I'm hoping he does, because I don't want Martial to start, because I don't rate the player whatsoever. But
Newcastle have just scored.
Yeah, it's just come up on my screen. It's just come up on my TV as well that Newcastle have just scored.
Anyway, carry on, pal. So obviously with Garnacho, obviously when he comes off the bench, he does always make an impact. That's what it seems. And it's not just recently as well. You think back to when we won at Fulham away, our last away win, where he came on off the bench and scored that 89th minute goal. He did it with Wolves in the most recent game. I think back to the Manchester derby at Old Trafford, where he came on. We were 1-0 down. Jack Grealish scored a header, and then we bring on Garnacho, and just like that, United win 2-1. Like obviously, with the second goal as well for United against City, he played a massive part in that. He tricked City's defence and then passes it to Rashford for an open goal. So Garnacho makes things happen, and I feel like as well. So I put it on Twitter. And people said, like, oh, Garnacho's brilliant. And I know he's brilliant, but I feel like actually keeping him on the bench at the moment and making him prove himself off the bench is actually what makes him, like, more dangerous. Because if you play someone like Sancho, right, who doesn't really challenge the wingers, the fullbacks, and he struggles to beat a man one-on-one, like, he struggles to beat himself one-on-one at times. Like, Sancho, for me, is a very inconsistent player. And I don't want to have an agenda against him, but he makes it very hard to actually like Sancho, because people say that, oh, he's brilliant, this, and this. He's very technical. I mean, Casemiro puts him in as in one of his most hard-working players. I hardly see it. I don't understand why. But again, that's just my opinion as a fan. But other news, did you watch the training footage that came out this afternoon?
No, I didn't. I've not had a chance to actually look at that. After editing all the video from today, I've not had a chance to even look at the training video.
No worries. So everyone, obviously, Thomas has got his own Fantasy Football Premier League show. So if you want to go give that a channel subscription or follow him on Twitter, all the socials, obviously this guy is going to have the best Fantasy Football Premier League show on YouTube. So all these FPL boys and all these guys, Thomas is coming after us. Well, anyway, with the training footage for Man United, these three players are all back in training. So we've got Rashford back in training, McTominay and Van der Beek. So, Thomas, do you think that these players can make an impact? I know Marcus Rashford probably is a definite yes, but with McTominay and Van der Beek, do you think that they can come and help us? Because I personally feel like in a game like Bournemouth, this is where we're going to get on to predicted 11 in a moment. But do you think playing a player like McTominay or Fred would be a better suit than Eriksen? Because we're probably going to be, because we're away from home, we need a bit more defensive cover. And for me, Eriksen's a defensive liability. So yes, I know we'll probably need to create a lot, because obviously, like you've already said about how hard it is to break down Bournemouth's defence. But do you think that United need to be on the precaution that we need to be careful of their counter-attacks? So would you say that McTominay and Van der Beek could actually make an impact for the rest of the season?
McTominay, yes. I think he could make an impact. Again, I don't think Ten Hag will start him though. I think he'll start Eriksen and then bring McTominay on halfway through the second half. Van der Beek, personally, I don't think so. I've not seen enough of him this season to be able to give a honest opinion. But when I have seen him, he comes on, but he doesn't have that fight. He doesn't have that urge to do much on the field like Garnacho or Shaw or Maguire has when they come on. So McTominay, 100%, yeah, I think he could make an impact. Van der Beek, I'm 50-50 split on that. I think it'd just depend on what his mindset is on the day of the game and if he comes on and plays at all, really.
Yeah, I mean, with McTominay, I do think that he's I think he's like very overhated in our fan base because I feel like that with the whole McFred days, like obviously they were nightmares. They weren't days, they were fucking nightmares. But McTominay seems to get a lot more stick than what Fred used to. And for me, I personally feel like with McTominay, I rate him more as the number 8 because for me, like you see West Ham, you see Newcastle, you see Aston Villa, all these teams came in for him in January to try and to sign him. So, and Jose Mourinho really liked him, but just because like he's 6'4", he's built like a brick shithouse, but because he's tall, he's always been played defensively. But if you watched him in the youth academy, he was a striker. Like McTominay knows how to go for goal, and I mean he's proven that with Scotland. He scores for Scotland all the time. So for me, I feel like that.
I mean, if I'm correct in thinking, I'm sure McTominay scored when they played against Spain in.
Yeah, I think
in the friendlies.
Yeah, so with McTominay, he's got an eye for goal, and I feel like with his physicality as well, and he knows how to do some sort of defensive cover. Like, because unlike when it was the McFred days, McTominay and Fred, they used to never track their runners, but now McTominay has got Casemiro to track his runners for him. So obviously, so McTominay does have to get back and help defend. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but he doesn't have to do as much as a defensive actions as Casemiro does. So I think that. But the reason why we've seen poor performances from Casemiro at the moment is because whilst Eriksen was out, Casemiro had a partner in Fred, McTominay, or Sabitzer, who at least don't back out of a challenge. And now Eriksen and Casemiro are partnershipped again. Yes, creatively, United are creating a lot of chances. But you see Casemiro, like, he's pretty much a one-man band. Like, and I feel like, have we missed out on the opportunity of a better partnership of McTominay, Casemiro, and Bruno instead of Eriksen, Casemiro, and Bruno?
I mean, potentially, yeah, we have. But I've lost my train of thought. I don't even know what I was about to say then. Christ, I lost my train of thought.
It's all right, honestly. So
I've just had a massive mind fart there.
It's fine. So with the question that I asked, do you think that we could have a better partnership than what we currently have? So do you think that Eriksen and Casemiro or McTominay and Casemiro would be a better partnership? Or maybe Casemiro and Fred or Casemiro and Sabitzer? Who do you think would be a better partnership?
I mean, Casemiro and Sabitzer, I mean, that's quite laughable. I mean, Sabitzer, I mean, what has he actually done? What has he actually done since he turned up?
Ooh,
I mean, I know that's a bit of a harsh thing to say, but it's true. You tell me what Sabitzer has actually done for the club. I know he scored some good goals, and he has helped in the process of some good goals, but any player could do that. McTominay can do that. Fred can do that. Casemiro can do it. Bruno Fernandes can do it. Hell, Maguire can even do it.
I won't go that far.
Apart from them players, what has Sabitzer actually contributed to the club, apart from being injured 3 times this season?
You know what? I'm finally glad someone's actually said it, because that's been me the entire time Sabitzer's been here, because I've seen so many fans making TikTok saying never fall in love with lone players and stuff like that. I'm like, shut up, you soppy bastard. Like, listen to me. Sabitzer's done fuck all. Like, you could probably get or Zidane Iqbal. Give them a chance and let them develop in that position. Don't sign a Bayern Munich flop that they're trying to offload. And if Manchester United will actually progress and become a better club and actually compete with teams like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, City, then we shouldn't be signing their deadwood because we're trying to offload our deadwood. So, like you said, Sabitz has been injured 3 times since he's been at Manchester United, and he's only been here since January, and it was literally deadline day when we signed him. So it wasn't like he's been here at the start of January. So it was basically February when we've joined him. So in literally, 3 months, 3.5 months, whatever it is, Sabitz has been injured 3 times, and I think he's scored maybe 4 goals, which is fair enough. It's 4 goals that United didn't have, but 2 of them goals were against fucking Seville, who we didn't beat. So what was the point in that? I can understand the panic buy or the panic loan with Sabitzer because obviously Ericsson went out injured in the cup, and I can understand why Erik ten Hag signed him, but for me, it's a definite no actually buying him in the summer. I feel like that with the likes of Rabiot and Tielemans available for a free transfer, I'd much rather try and get their signature than sign and waste 20 million of our low budget is what it is already, and wasting it on Sabitzer. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. But going back to who I think would work well together, personally for me, I'd say Casemiro and McTominay. Because whenever them two play, the chemistry between them two is just untouchable. I don't know what it is about them. They just seem to mix really well.
Yeah, I mean, well, our best mate Lee is in the chat, so okay, hate to say it, but I think you guys will win against Bournemouth, but I think you will drop points against Chelsea and Liverpool will jump you that week. That's your opinion, Lee. I mean, obviously, United do have a double game week that week. Obviously, Thomas, you'll know that because of Fantasy Premier League. But with Chelsea, obviously, we play Chelsea next Thursday, and we have Fulham at home on the weekend. So it will be tough, and Chelsea have seemed to found a bit of form now. So maybe that's the case. But as long as we accumulate 6 points, that's all I care about. But this is what I was trying to say before, that the importance of winning every single game before the FA Cup final, for me, I think is crucial because, like I said, for me, if United can win all their games for the remainder of the Premier League, one, we've definitely secured top 4, and second of all, the morale and confidence the players will be going into with that final will be through the roof. And yes, City annihilated Real Madrid 5-1 in aggregate, but it's a different game. It's a cup final. And I honestly can do something in that game. That's not me being a delusional United fan, but basically, it's 1-1 between Pep Guardiola and Erik ten Hag this season. Pep's won at the Etihad. Ten Hag's won at Old Trafford. So we've got to go to Wembley now on neutral grounds. I think it's the best win. It's the best team that wins. Obviously, City have the better players. But for me, I feel like United can do something. But
I mean,
Lee as well. Go on, Paul. Keep saying what you're going to say.
I mean, Lee mentioned about Liverpool taking over from us. Depending on how the Newcastle-Brighton game finishes, I mean, at the moment, Newcastle are winning 1-0. And I've just had a quick look at the league table. Now, Liverpool are playing Villa at the weekend. And Villa's currently 8th and Brighton's 6th. But Villa are on 57 points and Brighton's on 58. So, for me, I think Liverpool are going to have a run for their money against Villa, because Villa are now going to be pushing to try and get into Europa. And because United won the League Cup title, if we get top 4, then Villa could have Europa. I mean, at the moment, I think 8th now you get Conference League, isn't it? If I'm correct in thinking.
You might be 7th, but I think 8th's the playoffs, but I think 7th secures Conference League. I'm pretty sure.
Right. But I mean, given the fact that they're only 1 point behind Brighton, obviously, if the Newcastle game stays the way that it is, Villa will be pushing on against Liverpool to try and get that to try and overtake Brighton and get the Europa League spot.
Yeah.
And I mean, when was the last time that Villa had European football?
It's been ages. It's been absolute ages. And
Exactly. So
the thing is as well is that if you remember, Unai Emery, he was the bastard that beat us when he was manager of Villarreal. So he wants European football as well. So
exactly.
the thing is that you've made a brilliant point there that it's like because listen, this kind of falls back to United as well. United are pushing for to secure top four. What have Bournemouth got left fighting for? Yes, obviously to go up the table and try and get as much money for for next season for them to try and like upgrade their squad and stuff. But realistically, United have more to lose than Bournemouth do. So United should be on their A game, like Villa will be. I think Villa will definitely give Liverpool a tough game. Is it at Anfield or is it at Villa Park?
If I'm correct in thinking, it's at Anfield. The game. Let me just double check that. I think it's at Anfield.
Well,
Yeah,
if
it
it
is.
is,
It is at Anfield. 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday.
yeah. Yeah. Well, Lee, put in the comments. Tell me you guys starting lineup to this game. Does Rashford deserve to start after dropping form? Rashford probably absolutely knackered, but you bring on a great one. Obviously, we've already talked about Rashford being back in the squad with McTominay and Van der Beek also being back in training. But the predicted 11. So when it loads up, there we go. So predicted 11. Thomas, obviously, we'll just go from goalkeeper and then we'll go to defence, midfield, and forwards. So for me, the back line, I feel like it's got to be David De Gea. In our like him or not, I feel like he still is our best goalkeeper. He's much better than Tom Eaton and Jack Butland. So yeah, for me, you play David De Gea. Second of all, let's think. Would you play Wan-Bissaka or Dalot at right back?
I'd play Lindelof at right back because taking into account last week's game, Lindelof played a lot better when he was in right back, I thought, personally. I don't know whether you felt like that as well, but personally, I felt he played a lot better.
I didn't even notice that he was at right back at one point. I thought he played as the right centre half. I thought it was,
I think he started as right centre half, but then I think he shifted over to right back halfway through the game.
Right, okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm sure I've seen him drift over to right back at one point.
Yeah, because I was gonna. So I'm wondering who your centre backs are going to be now. Because I was going to say you play because I feel like that United need to create a lot more. And me, I'm going to Eriksen in my squad, so I feel like having both attacking fullbacks is important in this game. So for me, I think that Dalot should be the right back. But if you think Lindelof, mate, then feel free. But with my centre halves, I'm going to put Lindelof and Varane. So who do you think that the centre halves are going to be then, considering that you've put Lindelof at right back?
Well, I put Wan-Bissaka and Shaw as mine.
Okay.
Because I've done the United predictions on the app. That's the way I've done my team.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I've done Wan-Bissaka and Shaw.
Okay, that's very interesting. I don't think Wan-Bissaka will play at centre back. I think you probably will be. You might be right that Varane might not play, and it might be Shaw and Lindelof again. But yeah, I didn't think that. I don't think Gerrit Tenag will play him at centre back, but maybe I'm not too sure.
Well, I mean, Tenag's played players in positions that they're not normally used to pretty much every game this season. So I mean,
so obviously you can't discredit it. So who's your left back then? Would you go? Are you going for left back?
Left back, I'm not 100% sure who to go for. I was thinking Varane, but then I still.
All right. Oh. What's happened with the audio? Second. What's happened with the audio? Oh shit! What's that? Oh no! Shit. Just say something, second, Thomas. Just say something, Thomas. 1 sec.
2 secs. Headphones have died.
Right. No worries. That's fine, pal. That's fine. That's where the audio messed up. But for me, I feel like the team's going to consist of what Wolves faced against Manchester United. I do think it'll be probably either Wan-Bissaka or Dalot at right back. I do think the partnership will be Lindelof and Varane as the centre halves, and Luke Shaw does go back to left back. That's the team that I think Erik ten Hag will go for. So for me, I feel like that'll be the team. But obviously, Thomas has had his thoughts that either Varane or Lindelof or Wan-Bissaka, whoever will probably be playing out of position. Well, anyway, let's move on to the midfield. And for me, I do feel like the midfield three will consist of maybe Casemiro. I am going to go for Fred because I do feel like it'll be a bit too soon rushing back McTominay. And I do think Bruno Fernandes plays as well. But if it's Erik ten Hag, if he does go for Eriksen, I do think it'll be a lot harder for United to win this game. But for me, I personally feel like that if ten Hag does go for Fred, Casemiro and Bruno, that'll be a much more balanced midfield. But Thomas, what do you think your midfield, what would your midfield be? Hello? Thomas? I think he's there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, pal?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right. Sorry, I had some headphone difficulties there. The headphones decided to pack in halfway through.
Right. So quickly, who's your predicted midfield then? I've gone for Casemiro, Fred, and Bruno. But what would yours be?
I've basically pretty much gone the same as you. Fred, Casemiro, Fred, and Eriksen. That's my mid.
Oh, okay.
Just the same that we've been going every single week, really. Well, since Eriksen's come back.
Yeah, pal. Right. So forward line. Who would you go for? Because obviously Rashford's back, but will Thingy start him? Will ten Hag start him? I don't think he will actually. I would not be surprised, right, if we do see the same team that we saw against Wolves, where it's Antony, Martial, and Sancho. But I feel like that maybe Rashford comes on for Martial and Garnacho comes on for Sancho. But that's just my opinion. What would you go for?
Oh, I'd go for that as well. On paper, anyway. In terms of Ten Hag's thinking and the fact that Rashford is now back in training, I hate to say it, but I think he's going to start him. And I've got this really bad feeling that he's going to start him and he's going to make him play the full 90.
Oh, no.
Which I think is a really bad thing to do.
Maybe it does, but if he doesn't, then I think that will be quite good, because I do feel like, despite Sancho for me not being the best player, I do feel like with Sancho that we are a bit better on the ball. I'll say I do think the link-up play is a bit better, but I feel like that with Martial, Antony, and Sancho, it is a decent front three, but your goals are pretty much on your bench, which would be Rashford and Garnacho. So if ten Hag does start one of them, I wouldn't be surprised at the same time.
Yeah.
But just quickly, so just before this news that's happened over the last hour, and everyone, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and like the stream as well. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in. But after a brilliant season for Manchester United in his debut season, Manchester United are looking at offering Lisandro Martinez a new contract. So, Thomas, considering it's been Martinez's first season, do you think that it's too early, or do you think he deserves this new contract?
No, I think he deserves it. I mean, ever since he came to the club, he has made an impact, and you can see it in the games as well, and you can see that the players have gelled to him. So I think offering him a new contract now is probably the best time to do it. So I completely agree with it.
Yeah, because he already signed when he first signed for us. He signed a 5-year deal with I think it was led to believe I think it was 80 grand a week. I think it was. So realistically, you won't be making signing a new contract extension. Maybe an obligation. Maybe you add the 1 year to buy. But I won't be. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere as well that Martinez has a release clause that kicks in 2025, I believe, which I think is around 80 million. So I'm pretty sure Man United, if that's the case, I don't know if that's true or not. It's somewhere that I read. And if you start a FIFA career mode as well on FIFA 23, Martinez automatically has a release clause. So you don't know how many times I've skipped the entirety of pre-season and fucking Barcelona buys him out. And I'm like, oh no, what's happened? So I've had to restart the career mode. But no, I think it was Daily Mail or something that made a report about it about 4 or 5 weeks ago that the release clause kicks in 2025 when he's played the first 2 years at Man United. So maybe the new contract might be actually terminating that release clause and giving him a higher wage because of how well he's actually done in his first season at United.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then as I said, perfect time to offer him that new contract. Get him out of that release clause before we end up getting shot in the foot and losing him in 2025 to a team like Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Exactly.
Because you know that one of them two teams are going to come in and swoop him up.
100%. So, and for me, I honestly feel like Martinez is our best centre-back. I don't care whether you think Varane is. I don't care whether you think Harry Maguire is. I really don't give a shit. Lisandro Martinez, for me, is not one, my favourite player at United, but two, he brings so much to the team. And honestly, like I've said that Martinez is honestly the true captain of this side because he's like a pit bull. He's aggressive, but he's cute at the same time. Like that's literally what I've got to say about Martinez. I absolutely love him to death. So vamos, and I really just can't wait for him to get back. But honestly, everyone that's tuned into the show tonight, thank you for watching. Thomas, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. Do you just want to promote your channel and where people can find you?
Yep, so you can find me on Twitter, or Newcastle have just gone 2-0 up. So it's just come on my TV as I was speaking then. So going back to what I originally said, now that the 2-0, Aston Villa have got everything to play for against Liverpool, and I think Liverpool are going to have a real tough time on Saturday against them because they'll now be pushing for Europa. But back to what I was originally saying. You can find me on Twitter now that my Twitter is back active and I can post again. You can find me at PF_F show. I will commentate on the video as well so that everyone can find it later on. And you can also find me on YouTube at Phoenix Football Show, at Phoenix Fantasy Football Show. A new video my very first video has gone up on there. It does feature Dan on it, so go and check it out. Subscribe to the channel. I will be bringing out more and more videos. I may do one after the Bournemouth game and after when Dan's done his live for the after-match reaction.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Dan, for inviting me.
No worries, Paul. You've been great. So honestly, I really appreciate you coming in. Obviously, you're more than welcome to come on the channel whenever you want. So yeah, guys, honestly, thank you for everyone that's actually tuned in tonight. I really appreciate everyone. Lee and Simon, thank you always for being in the comments as always. Make sure everyone you share the video on Facebook, Twitter, whatever form of social media you're on, and make sure you subscribe if you are new and you have tuned in. You've never watched Red Devils TV before. We produce great content, daily live streams, and side content, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. we're going to the very top, and we're coming for that #1 fan channel spot. So we might only have a small number of subscribers at the moment, but honestly, everyone who subscribed and everyone that's a part of Red Devils TV family, you're all originals and you're all day oneers, and I love you all. But anyway, guys, thank you for everyone that's tuned in tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'll show what the video will be, pretty much what the most breaking news will be. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. So yeah, thank you.